I have been sharing with you from the beginning of this year, which we do every year, but this year, the year 9 of this millennium, on the 31st of December last year, and on the first week of January this year, I shared with you from God's Word that this year 9 will be a year of maxims, a year of great blessings, a year of great disasters. It'll be a year of prosperity for some, it'll be a year of poverty and disaster for others. As I shared with you, this year by the global community has been declared as a year to commemorate one Galileo Galilei, because this man was the first one to bring the telescope and was able to look into the heavens, and he launched the space age and a great leap in science. So the world or the universe was named after Galileo until Einstein came later. But this happened 400 years ago, and to commemorate what he did, they put aside this year to remember what he did. It was a great blessing. The man was a Jew, the man was a God-fearing man. He claimed to be a Bible teacher and student. Others claim he was a scientist. And then also the world community is commemorating another man by the name of Charles Darwin, also a Jew, but he came up with the idea of not wanting to have God in the equation or in the formula. The name God or the word God should be completely eradicated. And so he comes up with the idea of man descending from monkeys and apes and gorillas. And that is the greatest tool used by the communists, the atheists, to destroy the faith of masses. Because Karl Marx, Stalin, Lenin, all of them said the most effective tool for communism was this teaching that man came from monkeys and apes, and the book Origin of Species. So one man brought great hope, great light, great blessing to the earth. Another man who also was a Jew, but who did not want God in his idea, came up with such destructive, demonic ideas that has used to destroy masses. So you see the best and you see the worst. That's how it is in this world. Likewise, I shared with you in the church and globally, we're going to hear good news and bad news. Jesus said in the book of Revelation, he said, let him that is evil continue in his evil ways, and let him that is good continue in his good works. For I am coming quickly, and I will reward them accordingly. So the Lord is observing the good and the bad. But this year, the 9th year, is a year where things go to the maximum, because 9 is the maximum. Then I brought you to the month of September and did caution us, saying this month we'll see the worst things happen, because we saw in our own studies the heightened spiritual religious activity on the planet was during this year and this month. Almost every religious group was fasting and praying and activating demons, literally welcoming the king of hell or Satan himself to come for meals and blessings, etc. And I shared with you the whole of Asia Pacific, especially in Asia, from Japan down. You should go back and listen to what I preached a couple of months ago, and you see it's all there. How, because of all this, there's going to be a lot of demonic activity. On the 31st of September, the last day of the month, we hear what happened in Samoa, in Tonga, and all those Asia Pacific islands, swept right across the Philippines, is a real disaster. Hitting Japan, hitting Korea, China, Taiwan badly hit, and down to Hong Kong and Vietnam and Cambodia, up the coast of Thailand. Malaysia was a little bit shaken, but Indonesia pretty bad. Tsunamis and earthquakes and storms all at the same time. We see all of these things happening. And this month, last month was so important. What you heard from God's word, what you heard from the pulpit here, you saw happen. What is happening is there's so much of activating of demonic powers, and this is what we see. But thank God, the Bible not only speaks of Jesus, not only spoke about this, but he said the rain will fall. The rain speaks about divine blessings and favors that God has poured upon humanity. Then Jesus says the flood will come. Flood is a demonic reaction of envy, of strife, to destroy, to shake, to wipe out all that, the foundations that have been laid, and to destroy everything, to carry everything away. But then God doesn't leave it like that. Then Jesus said the wind will begin to blow. I shared this message on the 8th and 9th of last month in Sabah. Because Sabah will play the next 3 years. Sabah and Sarawak will play a major role in the destiny of this nation. And what happens in the 13th general elections, when God allows under the 13th, rebellion, revolution, rejection, all to be exposed on the 13th time. A lot of things will happen. It can be good or bad, it can go better or worse. But it all depends on the praying church. It all depends on the salt of the land, the light of the land, and the voice in this land, which is the voice of the church, which, sad to say, many places is not heard. And also the bride of Christ in this land. If we continue to fail like we have the past centuries, then the consequences are going to be very serious. So I continue to decree and I continue to declare, and I'm challenging you and the church in this nation to rise up and begin to pray for divine invasion in this land, to bring about change for the better. And I believe we will see it. Would somebody agree with me? We will see it. And we see all these things happening around us. So this morning I just want to highlight a couple of points to show you how accurate and how truthful God is. Since we are Malaysians, keep your eye on what God is doing in Malaysia. Secondly, keep your eye on what God is doing in Israel. Because you know, Malaysia's official stand regarding the nation of Israel. And we as Christians, what do? Where do we stand as the Christian community in this land? Now I just want to highlight a couple of prophecies. I love prophecy because Jesus said in John, these things are written so that you might read and believe. These things are written before they come to pass, so that when they come to pass, you know I told you so, and you may believe and be saved. So God in his wisdom has chosen to write down black and white so that it stays forever, and give it to man in his own language so that he knows that God has spoken, he knows it is written, he knows it has been decreed and declared, and it will come to pass. That's how you know whether it's God or not. And so here, just to highlight just one prophecy concerning the nation of Israel, and we are now living in space age. We are living in the years of Star Wars and etc. Everything is laser beams and press button and IT and ET and